Hello and welcome or welcome back. My name is Reb and we are going to look at a couple little sketchbooks and talk about my little urban sketching setup. So let's hop right in. I know it's been a little while since I've made a video. Life has been lifing lately between work and a project that I've been working on and just getting ready for school and starting school. It's been a little bit hectic. I haven't done as much drawing as I'd like, and I certainly haven't made as many videos as I usually make. But end of the month is coming, so we'll have a sketchbook tour and visual journal tour coming soon, and I didn't want to miss the window to show you these little sketchbooks. So let's talk first about the urban sketching little setup that I have here. This is not like exclusively what I use for urban sketching. This is just what I toss in my bag when I'm kind of on the go and know that I won't be able to really bring my big sketchbook, or if I'm going to a location where I won't have many hands to like hold all of that, or if I'm going to a location that might damage my like actual sketchbook. So I don't want to take it because I don't want it to get wet or something like that. If this gets wet, it's not like the end of the world. It's just a little makeshift little system. So yeah, I did hand make this, as you can probably tell by this terrible stitching. This was my like first attempt to stitch like this, and it did not go great. The second attempt went much better. I don't have the proper tools to do this kind of shit. So anyways, this is a little piece of leather, probably salvaged off of something because most of my leather is. This little coin was given to me by Melissa Martin at Melissa Martin Art. She hosts the Art Hang Party, which is a very fun drawing session. If you don't know about Art Hang Party, I will link it below so that you can join us. But yeah, it's a little coin from Japan and it has a little hole in it, and I thought that'd be perfect for this little journal. Inside, it's got a little pocket. This is where I keep my little gouache set that is very well used and very well loved. This was given to me by Olinda at Olinda's Artistic Oddities. Again, if you don't know the channels that I mention here, I will be linking them in the description below. But she's got a really fun channel. Definitely check her out if you love art supplies. A couple little other things in here. We've got a kind of short Blackwood pencil. This is what typically happens to my pencils that start getting too short for everyday use, but are still perfectly good. And then a water brush that actually fits in here. Before I just kept it kind of tucked in the like margin here, but I like this solution a lot better. So yeah, it's just a little guy. And two clips. I'll take these off so they're not clanking against everything right now. And then my notebooks. So these are fresh notebooks. I've got this little dotted journal in here that I thought I might want to do more like pencil work and things like that on this paper. I don't think that this will hold up very well to like watercolor or pen, but we'll try it. And then this little notebook, this was also given to me by Melissa. This is a stone paper sketchbook. So I've got just one little sketch in there so far. Hopefully we'll have some more soon. But like I said, I just barely put this in there. So, but again, these are the new ones. I've got some old ones to show you. So we'll set this aside, and this is another blank one. So I made this little sketchbook out of some stone paper that I have and a chocolate bar wrapper. This one I just stapled, and this one actually held up well. I have two versions of that. This one held up a lot better than this one did. This one is watercolor paper, and I glued it on the side and then taped it. But as you can see, the tape got pretty shredded, and the string that's in the little journal system kind of went in and destroyed it. That being said, the pages stayed inside for the most part, and I didn't lose anything. And honestly, it was kind of nice because if I wanted to, I could like paint something and then give it to somebody or take it out of the little book. But we'll start with this one. Obviously, a Reese's Puffs cereal box cover, which, I mean, I'm a huge fan of recycling stuff. The binding method didn't work out as great. I probably just needed to put more glue and then maybe like a stronger tape. I want to try that new method that Melissa posted on her channel, so we will see about doing it that way instead. All right, so first drawing was an Urban Sketchers meet where I went to the University of St. Thomas. Olinda from Olinda's Artistic Oddities joined me, and we did some sketching. It was raining that day, so some of our stuff did get a little bit wet, hence the kind of modeling kind of granulation in here, but I actually kind of like it. And there's a little urban sketching stamp. This drawing here was also from the same session. This was a sculpture that was in that sculpture garden. I really like how this one came out. This one was also using the same. This one was also using the Sailor Fude pen, but this time I ended up using the granulating watercolors that are in my White Knight set, and I really like the color combination. I like how that set works with the Sailor Fude pen in the Rome is Burning ink. Next drawing is a pencil drawing with the granulating watercolor set, and this one was a little, I'm trying to remember what it was specifically called. It was like a neotropical preserve or a neotropical habitation area or something like that. It was a birding area basically that is close to the beach where I live. So it was a cool little spot. I was sitting there waiting for some cool birds, but they were too fast to actually get into the drawing, and also very far away. So I just got the kind of like fountain, like little nested area that was behind the bird blind. This was a potted plant that was like near a table that I was eating at for lunch, and I just thought it was like, I don't know, the colors were pretty because it had this like ivy, and then it had like more kind of a tropical plant up at the top. I did get some transfer from this page over onto this one, but honestly it doesn't really matter. And then this one is from the Fine Arts Museum. Technically you're not supposed to watercolor there, but since I have such a tiny little discrete kit, I don't think anybody really noticed. But this one was with gouache and a Sailor Fude pen in Bad Blue Heron, which is not a waterproof ink. Technically, it does bleed a little bit, so I kind of took advantage of that in some of these areas to kind of provide some shading. This one was also at the Fine Arts Museum. This one was with a different Sailor Fude pen. This one was filled with mango habanero, and I did this in the dark basically, hence the like weird coloring, but I actually kind of like it and it's kind of fun. But this is just a drawing of the building. I know it's kind of hard to tell what it is, but like I said, I was in the dark. So this little drawing here, you have seen it. This is from our trip to Garner State Park This was a little park that was just outside of that called Chalk Bluff Park. I talked about this a little bit in another video, so I won't really talk about it much here, but this was a really, really fast painting with gouache and actually just gouache. There's not even pen or anything. I think I put a little bit of like Derwent Intense pencil in the sky, but actually never like wet it. So yeah, but you know, considering how quickly it was done, my toddler was running around like a little maniac. It came out cool and I like it. This one here was just a little trip to our local park. They have some hiking trails and we went down the park, and I was literally sketching and walking with my Derwent pencils. So yeah, pretty fuzzy and not very proportional or anatomically correct, but it's still a cute drawing and I like it. This one here was done at the zoo. I went to the zoo with my son, and I didn't get to do very much drawing because there was just a lot to see, and you know, of course, attention span of a toddler doesn't allow for much. But I did buy him an ice cream, and while he ate his ice cream, very, very messily, I drew this little cute monkey that was sitting on a tree. This one was the Sailor Fude pen and gouache. I went to a lunch meeting. It wasn't really a lunch meeting, it was more like a retreat kind of post-work kind of thing. So I felt comfortable like actually sitting and drawing while everybody was kind of chatting. So I drew the glass that I was drinking out of and somebody else's beer. And that was just gouache, no pencil, no pen, or anything like that. For this one, gouache again. This was, I know it's kind of hard to tell, but this was actually like a night scene. The moon was like super bright, like super, super bright, and there were some clouds kind of around it. And I didn't really get like the rest of the scene, but the moon had a really pretty kind of pinkish glow to it, and then it was kind of illuminating the clouds around it, and it just looked really cool. And then the next morning, I want to say it was the next morning, the sun kind of had like the opposite effect, where it was like not illuminating the clouds, like the clouds were like a shadow in front of it, and I thought it was just kind of a cool juxtaposition. I wish I had had them on the same page, but it didn't work out that way. And then the last drawing in here, which I didn't finish, which I should just go out and finish because the flowers are still out there and looking super pretty. But it was just like a little quick sketch of some zinnias that I have in my garden. So this was just kind of like a little bit of like wet on wet, like drawing. I was out there gardening with my son, and again, attention span of a toddler never helps for the drawing in any place, basically. But yeah, I can go back and finish that one. So that's it for this little sketchbook. Like I said, kind of falling apart, but now I can just take this thing apart and have them as separate paintings, whatever. And then the other one that I kept in there was this one here. This one is, again, handmade. This was a gift bag that I got from somebody, and then this a little bit of tape just to keep the staples from catching anything. This one held up a lot better. So, you know, if you're ever just trying to make like a really quick sketchbook, staples are a great way to go. So this first one here is still of St. Thomas. Since I was working in such a small sketchbook, I filled up the pages a lot quicker. So I ended up making 2 drawings for that first location, and then we moved on to the next one. This page I don't know if you can necessarily call this urban sketching, but I was trying out some markers and they were like not drying on this page. So I ended up just like closing it and having kind of a blobby kind of effect. And then once they finally did dry, then I drew over it. And basically what I was drawing was just like little things from our local trail. So like literal dumb things that I found along the way or whatever, trash cans, benches, bugs and things like that. So just a kind of silly little page here, but I like it. It's fun. This one was a little urban sketch of the art car parade. I only got to draw like the pencil portion of it for the most part while I was out there, and then added the color a little later. But this was I want to say this was the granulating watercolor and also regular watercolor or gouache. Yeah. So yeah, just a little pencil sketch, and I really like how this one came out. It's really fun. It doesn't hurt that the subject is also very fun. These cars were amazing. I made a video about this, so if you want to check it out, I'll link it down below. The stone paper is like deceptively thin and thick. I don't know how to explain it. This was also from that same day where we went to a bunch of different places around Houston, but this one was at Meow Wolf. And this was just like a random sculpture that was there while we were eating. So I got to draw that. And I think I used like the gouache on here, but then went back with some granulating watercolor in the background. And again, paint wouldn't dry, so just kind of flipped it onto that page and then drew over it. And these are just people from an event that I was at, just kind of sitting around or standing around tables. And again, like, it's just a little sketch, but I like how it came out, and it's kind of fun. I just wish that the pencil had been a little bit bolder, but I don't know, the texture of the paint and the texture of the paper kind of made it hard to really get some dark lines. These are not really urban sketches. I don't know why I did these in here, but this was from a drawing session. I can't remember what the drawing session was called. I want to say that I was working in my sketchbook, but the paint was too wet to flip the pages, so I ended up drawing in here while the other one was drying. So that's why there's like a couple of these drawings in here. But it was a really fun session. It was like everybody made their own still lifes, basically. And we drew each other still lifes. This next page is from Garner State Park. This one I did some of the drawing on site, and then later on when I got back to the campsite finished it up. But this was the old entrance for Garner State Park with the original CCC like fence and things like that, which was really cool to see. And I like how this one came out. I thought that dimension, like I captured some of the dimension here, and there was a lot of really pretty wildflowers and things. So that one was a really like nice little drawing. The next ones didn't really finish, but I'll show them anyways. This was a little taco stand that's kind of local to us, that we get our tacos from occasionally. And then this one was at a park. And, I was trying to draw my son, but, he doesn't stand still. So I was just kind of winging it. But the park was really cool. It had these big, like, planets that were, like, not foam, but, like, kind of soft, that you could climb on. And he was having a great time. The next one I really didn't finish because we ended up having to leave in a hurry, just as I was like starting. And I was also running into the problem where the paint wasn't drying, so I couldn't like work very quickly. But it's just a little cafe scene with somebody sitting down at one of the chairs. And then the very last one here is of my son playing in a splash pad. I don't know how to capture water. I don't know. I don't know if I needed to like have drawn this and then painted it or what, but either way, I still like it. It's, kind of fast and loose. And, obviously I was there, with him playing and stuff. So some of the paint is smeared and, we were both wet. So that's as far as I got. But the nice thing is the stone paper, like, you can get it wet. It's like, I wouldn't say waterproof. The paint kind of just sits on it until it dries. But it's definitely got like an interesting property to it. So I had fun with this. That's the sketchbook. There's not a lot of pages in these. I kept them kind of small so that this little like drawing system wouldn't get too bulky. And also, since I take this to places that are, maybe not so sketchbook safe, if I do ruin it or something like that, I wouldn't be losing like a whole sketchbook's worth of drawings and paintings. So nice, safe, small little sketchbooks for these. So looking forward to filling up the next ones, and I will share those when I do. I hope you've enjoyed this little sketchbook tour, and I will catch you guys on the next video.